You got an attitude one day, you're here 6 months out of the year.
Well, he's laid off, so Aaron didn't get a raise.
Well, you paid me all that. It's
You're gonna be involved anyways.
Mine went off.
So you're gonna be involved anyways.
Which he's fine with. I mean, he doesn't.
Apologize. Sorry for being tardy. Dude, you came sick? Go home. Sorry for my tardiness, Chairman Brands.
Well, no, it's hard to remember. 7, right? I will what? Is that a 7? Yes, 7.
Julie,
Kind of hard to remember.
did you get my short response to your question?
Yeah, at 2 o'clock this morning.
Well, that's not what I said, but, okay. I did it for my phone, so it was kind of short, but I just, yeah.
To me, that is perfect response. That's exactly what I was looking for. And actually, I told you, the other board committee, said, screw this shit. I said, oh. Rather than, because I feel like that is more, I would agree. Like, should we be
All right, 6:05. We will call this meeting to order. All right.
I apologize for having my back. I don't like having my back to people, but.
Sit over
We have a quorum. We do have a quorum.
there. Okay. All right. Discussion and vote to amend Public Safety Committee rules and job description. That was in the read head material, correct?
Yes. Make a motion.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Did everybody have a chance to read over the corrections?
It is in your read ahead. There's, can y'all hear me?
These weren't on Tuesday night. I don't know if they're.
The rule, we're on 4. We're on 3, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So the public safety rules that were proposed a couple months ago were adopted. There were a few changes in things such as like instead of having a sign-in sheet, you just take roll. There was since this was copied and pasted from various sources, it had a reference to the county administrator, so that was asked to be struck. 2 or 3 of the options under the duty of the Public Safety Committee were actually, they lined up better with the Legislative Committee, so those things were requested to be struck. I will say on the amended proposal that it included several things. We would only include EMA, dive, animal control, and public buildings.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
At the top, in
It's-
red, when it
Oh, okay.
has the description.
Okay.
The header.
We would only include
It's there and it's on page 3 too.
EMA, dive, animal control, and public buildings.
Okay.
On page 3, it needs struck as well. Shall be the duty of PCS. Do we need to make a motion to amend that here? Or is-
No, those are, oh, well,
Wouldn't we just accept the new, or would we make a motion to accept the new rules?
With
Those
the
are
corrections. Well, we got to correct page 3 also. That
Right.
is not struck, so we will have to make an amendment
Okay,
on that
okay.
too.
So I'll make an amendment to strike the word rescue from page 1 and page 3.
I'll second that.
Sorry, to remove. To correct, did you say correct or remove?
To strike the word rescue from page 1 and page 3. That's the only place I could find it unless someone else found it somewhere else.
30 seconds. And then go with this.
Vote on the amendment, please.
On that way, you will,
That you were here.
Laura, let me know when you're done. Okay. All right, we will vote on the amendment to strike
Thank you. Sorry.
rescue from the two spots on the updated rules. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Is there any other corrections or anything that they need changed on the updated rules for public safety? All right. Sonia, are you good on everything?
I'm good, I believe. Yes.
Okay, so we are going to vote on the updated Public Safety Committee rules. If no one has anything changed, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That's unanimous. All right, so we'll go to number 4.
What is the lead?
Okay.
Because that would then be appointed. So next you have to.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, so we can't change this, all right.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me. All right, 5, review, discussion, and vote to recommend to full board animal control part-time employee pay and hours change to follow the new state law. Paid Leave for All Workers Act, 820 ILCS 192/1. Lori, would you like to elaborate on that?
I would make a motion to recommend to the full board, as you so moved, with the inclusion of $15 per hour as they are currently paid,
Right.
without, and,
Okay, I'll second that.
okay.
All right, now discussion. Would you like to elaborate on that?
There is no allowance in this new rule that, can you hear me? I'm so sorry.
Not really.
There is no allowance in this new 40-hour work week comp pay. It's the Paid Leave for All Workers Act. It doesn't allow for a payment per day. Every hour needs to be tracked so that the employee, whether part-time or full-time, gets credit for each hour they work toward time off.
Right, so
That's a state statute that went into effect January 1st. So it would just remove the $50 for part-time people who, there's only one part-time person who gets $50 a day for filling in if the warden's unavailable. That would have to stop, but they would get paid hourly as they are now. They would just start acquiring paid time off
right,
for
so
the statute. So they're
so
not,
there is a $50 a day for the part-time employee. So if he doesn't work so many hours, he gets paid $50. So like a part-time. So if he only works 2 hours, he still gets $50.
Okay, that was my question.
Right. So we cannot track that with the new law, so it will have to be for hours because at the first of the year, for every 40 hours worked is 1 hour paid vacation time. So we have to track that correctly.
and the new time service, electronic timekeeping
Right.
would track, is
Right.
already,
And they
They
should,
will track that.
they will have where they clock in and out also. So, is there any other?
My concern with that is, so, okay, say he works 3 hours. Well, that's $45. Say it takes him 2 hours to care for the animals, feed, water, clean, whatever. But then the way the animal control warden is now, he's on call for X amount of hours throughout the rest of the day. Are we going to, this part-time employee, will he get call time pay? Because we're expecting, if we're gonna expect him to be on call, I don't know if anybody else works on call, I work call time pay. So like if I'm on call for a shift, the hospital doesn't need me right now, but they may need me throughout sometimes in the day. I don't get paid my full wage, but I get paid a percentage
Right.
to be on call so that if they call me, I can be there. Are we gonna expect him to be on call and not, I
I
mean,
don't think he's paid that way now anyways.
well, he gets, yeah, it's $50,
Yeah.
but he is on call
Right.
on those days that Brad is not, or that Warden is not available.
It's per hour. So I would, the way I understand it is that if he's, say, these 5 days in March, he's covering. Then when he gets a call, he would clock in, go take care of.
Okay, and be paid
And
his,
be paid while he's
Gotcha.
actively working?
okay, that makes sense. I mean,
Is that,
as long
that's
as,
my understanding.
as long as he's gonna be compensated when he's, but now on those days, like when Brad is on vacation or the Warden is on vacation or gone, and obviously the part-time person is gonna be like, well, I really can't pick up and go too far out of town because I'm expected to be with animal control. Are we gonna expect him to take call on those days?
I think that, from what I understand, location is gonna make a difference because once municipalities' contracts and our intergovernmental agreements are ironed out, it would cover a good portion of the county. So you're already reducing the expectation that he would have to respond to the entire county.
Okay,
I mean,
all right, I just wanna make sure, like,
What-
if,
So what, like,
if-
I mean, you're talking about on-call pay, so what would your idea be?
I mean, I don't even have any idea because I get like, half, I mean, obviously my pay is probably a little higher than what we're paying a part-time animal control person. But I get like half of my wage to be on call for, I think my shift is 12 hours, 8 hours, and then I'm done. After that, I don't get paid anything, but they can't call me in either. So
What do they do now for him? For,
he just gets paid $50 a day and he remains on call.
whether he clocks in or not?
But if he gets a call and he clocks in, then he'll get his hourly time.
and that accumulates towards the free time off.
But
But right now, he's not accumulating any, he's not
No, he doesn't have
accruing.
any benefits of the county, of being employed by the county.
So.
It's a
if
part-time
we-
job though, yes.
Right.
Very.
I mean, my thought too would be if he is gonna be on call, then, excuse me, then he should have the phone app or clock in on a phone, and then he gets paid from the time the call comes in until he's done.
So, did you guys already meet with, I'm sorry, I'm behind.
Oh, geez, I'm
Did you
sorry.
guys already
I don't
meet
know how to
with
shut
Brad?
this off.
What, is Brad here? I don't just know where he is. No? Has he already been talked to about all this?
This is not Brad, it's Matt.
Oh, it's Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
It's a part-time person who covers for Brad when he's sick or on vacation.
right, but who's the department head?
We don't have one yet.
Oh. Okay.
Do you understand, am I explaining what I'm trying to say
No,
correctly?
It's understandable.
Like,
yes.
if he works that day, Brad's out of town, and, I mean, Matt lives here locally, so it's probably, but, you know, if he has a obligation to the county to be here on call, and he doesn't, I feel like, I don't know, we need to recognize that. But if we're talking about telling him to clock in, then that's fine.
Right. So do you want to make that to, you know, I guess?
Is that even something that needs amended? I mean, is that part of the,
It says we're changing his pay
So-
8 hours.
What we're trying to do is follow an unfunded mandate by the state of Illinois.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to do. Have a part-time position.
And it's not union.
It's not union,
So-
has no benefits. Is there a problem with the way he's being compensated now?
Yes, because he was getting a $50 stipend
A day.
a day.
And that does, per day does not track the hours.
I understand that, but-
Requires.
It's a part-time position. Are you suggesting that we take the $50 away, or are you suggesting that we add more money to it?
Well, he won't get paid, so he'll get paid the $50, right? And then
Right.
he gets the hourly. The stipend will go away, so we can track the hours and money worked.
Toward an accumulation of paid time
Right.
off.
Why would we do that?
Because that's what the new,
The law says we cannot pay him a stipend for staying at home, being on call.
it's. I don't.
I've read
I mean,
most of it.
I
It's
can pull it up.
It's a requirement that we give everybody 40 hours a week paid time off, whether they're full-time or part-time. But why do we have to change the $50 stipend in the process?
It was recommended that with this.
Why? What was the reason for the recommendation?
Because it doesn't, because it doesn't seem to comply with the new regulation.
So with this stipend, so if he works 2.5 hours, that is, what, $40?
Okay.
So he'll get $50 instead of the 45.
Oh, so he's guaranteed 50
Right,
regardless of hours worked.
right.
So in order to comply with the law, we have to somehow give him hours.
Right.
With the 50.
So that's why I think that with the electronic timekeeping, if he is called on that call, he clocks in, comes to town, does wherever he needs to do.
Right, but
and
now he's
resends
going
the
from
clock.
making $50 on these days to making potentially $0 on these days.
No, he has to be there regardless, because when Brad is not there, or the warden is not there, somebody has to care for the animals in the building. So if he,
So if a call comes in during.
So there's not a time where he's getting this $50 paid on call that he is not required to report to the facility.
correct.
Well, just report to the facility and work 3 hours.
That's exactly, yeah, that's what all he would have to do to get his $50. My concern was the call pay,
And then when
But
if he is called out beyond that,
he clocks back in.
he has to clock back in, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just change it to.
So he has
work-
potential to make more than $50 a day.
Right. But I don't know that it's in the budget that he go from 3 to 8 hours, is it?
This was,
Call Springfield.
Springfield's gonna tell you to do it. The money will magically show up. That's what they do with all unfunded mandates. I mean, he's paid $15 an hour, yes? 3
That's what we're
hours.
saying, so that he can.
So 3 hours
collect
is
that.
$45.
So I don't know how we can pass it if we don't even know it's in.
Just because it's on the agenda to pass doesn't mean that it actually passes. This is where we discuss, and
We're
if we
just
have questions, we just move on without.
We'll just,
Well-
I'll check that.
we will not be in compliance because this took effect January 1.
I don't know why we don't just say that on his call days, he goes and works at the building for 3 hours.
I don't know that that's written down anywhere, so you can say that. I'm okay with
I don't
keeping
know
whatever
why we
he's
don't just
working.
do that.
And I'm sure, I mean, I haven't spoken to Matt, but Matt is the most easy to get along with person, so I'm sure if that's what he was asked, he would more than willingly do it. To get his.
Well, just to ensure that he's getting compensated equally to what he was getting compensated to.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be there for the animal
Right.
care anyway.
So we could just say 8 to 11:30. And then on call.
Well, how about we wait until we get an administrator to set hours? I feel like that's something the department head should do.
I think the issue at hand in the motion would be to change it to follow what this new,
To make it an hourly compensation
To make it
instead of a
hourly.
stipend.
And if we simply say that he works from 8 to 11:30, we're not changing anything and we're comporting to the newly passed law.
I get it, I just don't think it's the committee's job to set hours when there is potentially going to be a department head coming down the pike.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily know that we have to say 8 to 11:30.
Yeah.
3 hours a day.
I think we would be good just saying, make him an hourly employee instead of a stipend employee.
because he will be accumulating the benefit of a paid day off.
Right, I don't know that we necessarily require that he's there from 8 to 11:30, but be there from,
That's up to the department head, not us.
right.
Well, we don't have one, so we still have to push forward.
Well, and I think if we don't establish a specific time to a specific time, we're well within the leeway of the department head coming in later and saying, well, I would like this and this to happen. Okay, fine, we said 3 hours, you pick the 3 hours, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah,
This way, he'll be putting in 3 hours, the county will be reimbursing him for 3 hours, and he'll be accumulating time based on the 3 hours that he put in, and so we should be fine.
okay.
But because, I would agree, because the committee passed the $50 a day, whatever, pay, we just need to take action
All right,
to make that switch from daily pay to hourly pay for all things.
right. If it needs to be, I would just suggest that it be officially that the days that he's on call, he needs to, I'm trying to figure out math in my head, so I'm struggling. 50 divided by 15, that's 3.3, so work 3.5 hours on the days, or he can work 3, whatever, I mean, no more than 4.
And then he gets additional pay if he's called
Right,
out.
which that's standard now, yes?
Right.
Yeah.
No, he gets
Well,
$50,
no.
period.
Or wait, what, are you talking, well, are you talking like Brad's contract? or-
No, I'm talking Matt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's just for when he's on call, right? Matt?
So we pay him $50, he goes and works an hour or 2 hours in the building, then he gets called out in the middle of the night and we don't pay him any more money?
Well, we don't know that anybody gets called out in the middle of the night because there's no log of when calls are made. And I'm not familiar with anybody being called in the middle of the night.
Okay.
But typically, he would be on call after his hours because the warden is required to be on call after his noon or whatever for a couple hours. So, as long as he's getting compensated when he may be possibly called out, that was my concern. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just the hours he was physically in the building.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine not paying someone to be out on a call.
Right, I get it. But as it stands now, if the warden is on vacation, he gets paid $50 a day regardless of what work he does. And it may be more than $50 if he has to take a call. That's what I was worried about.
Lori?
There is, in the 24 budget, $14,500 part-time employee pay allocated and $1,365 ARPA labor is highlighted and $2,200 for animal warden overtime.
That'd just be up to the department head to make sure
To
that
manage that.
part-time person doesn't exceed 15,000.
So it is.
So we can move right now to be in compliance, and then when the department head takes over, then they can
Right.
change it.
Iron out all the
They can
details.
do that.
I have to leave at 7, just so you know.
Okay. All right. So does anybody want to,
So the motion on the floor is to recommend the full board animal control part-time employee pay and hours change to follow new state law, the Paid Leave for All Workers Act, to $15 an hour. I mean, motion second.
I think that motion needs to be amended because
Okay.
the state law is not clear on how we do that. I think it needs to be amended to, I make a motion, we amend it to the part-time employee work 3 hours at the facility. And then they're paid on, if they're called out.
We can't just say he's an hourly employee?
Well, I'm reading the statute. Let me skim through here again.
I mean, I don't know how we can say he should be there for 3 hours when he may not need to be there for 3 hours.
Well, the thing is, he's substituting for the animal control warden, and the animal control warden is there from 8 to noon. So he would be there from 8 to noon. So he's there 4 hours.
So I don't know, I mean, I don't know why we need to like put a number on it then.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm saying. Can't we just say he's an hourly employee?
So he goes and works from 8 to noon for $50.
And he's on call.
But you said he sometimes leaves after 2 hours.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what he does. I'm saying if he were to leave after, he spends 2 hours cleaning, caring for, feeding,
If
water.
he has to be there from
Oh my
8
gosh, I feel like we're making this so much more complicated than
Well,
it
you're
used to be,
confusing me.
even at Christmas.
Okay, so is there a
when-
second on Sunny's motion?
No.
Okay,
When the warden
So then
is
we're
not
gonna
in the
drop that.
building, the part-time employee is. Therefore, his hours would be 8 to noon in substitution for the warden. They're not there consecutively at the same time. It's when the warden is on vacation, ill, needs a personal day,
How in the world
whatever.
did we get away
Okay,
paying
so
someone $50
I'm
a
gonna
day?
make an
I don't,
amendment.
that's in the past. We're trying to move forward.
I want to make an amendment that the part-time employee will be paid by the hour worked.
I would second that.
It says $15 per hour.
Yeah,
So what do you want to do that for?
for hours worked.
Okay.
You will be paid for hours
Where
worked.
did you find this out?
Do it right now.
Add. How much work? 20 seconds.
Yes.
Okay,
So this amendment is gonna do away with the $50 stipend thing, and it's just gonna be the hourly, and he goes in and he works, and we pay him when he
Yes.
works. Perfect. Vote on the amendment.
okay. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. That's unanimous. Okay, so,
Full motion?
yeah. To send to full board the part-time employee pay and hours changed to follow the new law, paid leave for all workers act,
$15
for $15 an hour for paid time work,
per hour.
for hours worked. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Moving on. Number 6, discussion and vote to amend animal control fee schedule resolution 2023-06 to align with HB 2500. Animal control facilities may not charge an adoption fee for dogs and cats if the person presents a valid ID or Illinois person with disability card with the word veteran printed on its face. So is there a motion to discuss? And
I'll make that motion.
is there a second? 40 seconds. Any discussion?
Sent the resolution 2023-06, establishing new rates for animal registration and other animal control fees. That was signed in
23.
February 23. So it would just add that to the bottom, that phrase for veterans type of discount.
That's pretty straightforward. I think that's what Coles County also has.
Do we charge an adoption fee now?
Yes.
Where? It's not on here. That's why I'm so confused by this budget item.
We do not spay, neuter, vaccinate, or provide medical care, so we do not charge an adoption fee. The fee, what's done instead is a contract is signed with from the adopter, by the adopter, that they will take the animal to the local vet or to a vet and have that done. That's why we don't charge an adoption fee.
So this.
But to be in compliance, we have to make note that a veteran, if we would ever start charging an adoption fee, veterans, those fees are waived for veterans.
And anyone with a valid ID
It says veteran.
It says veteran, keep reading.
presents a valid ID or
I think you have
This is a disability card that says veteran.
I think you have to have an ID to prove that you are the veteran.
Do you want the?
no, I don't.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All right, so to send to full board, yeah, right, send to full board for now.
Or do we amend that in committee? Okay.
I don't know how you could amend it in committee if it was passed by the full board and signed by the.
So it
chairman.
has to go to the board.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't say that, so we gotta,
Or so we can't recommend it to people?
no. All right, so we discussed that, so we will move on.
So we have a motion to table, and we will do that.
I'll remove my motion. But we need to make sure we get that on next month's agenda.
Yeah.
We couldn't slide it into new business, could we?
We can't take action. That's my fault.
Okay, so are you striking number 7?
Why can we not discuss and vote on it and then the chairman of the committee take it to the full board? I don't see any
What
reason.
about in committee reports? Could you do it in committee reports?
I don't see why the chairman of this committee can't put it on the agenda for the full board.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is if we do it once, then we're gonna do it again and again and again. So we either come to an agreement and do it correctly, or we don't do it at all.
I can say that was my mistake by not having.
I mean, it,
Recommend to the full board, because that was the intent of doing that, as I asked for it to be on the agenda,
the outcome's the same.
and I should have to.
Well,
Chairman, you make a decision.
I am not going to do it until we can actually vote as a committee and present it to the full board.
Okay, so we'll do
Skip
it next
6.
month.
Number 7, discussion and vote to rescind administrator vet job description. Is there,
So moved.
someone makes a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Or seconds it? Okay, any discussion?
Reason being, putting together 4 different, although very similar documents, I mistakenly labeled them to the same thing. So one was a compilation of various things. I sent the wrong one to the committee, it wasn't caught, which was then sent to the board. It makes no sense to have an administrator that is not a vet job description, a deputy administrator job description who is a vet, and then have one put together in a messy sort of way. If by chance our administrator ever is a licensed vet, they could literally take this administrator's job description and the deputy administrator's job description and have everything they need. So in my technical glitch, it really just surfaces that it's not really needed. And it's a huge pile of papers for somebody to try to sort through and figure out if it's necessary or cohesive. So it would be just as beneficial to have the two separate ones. And then if by chance someone does want a licensed veterinarian and wants to be a part-time administrator of the program, they would already have the things that we've already passed. So
Okay.
any questions on that?
No? Is there any more discussion? All in favor to rescind the administrator vet job description?
Aye.
Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Votes unanimous. Number 8.
My typo was tabled. I mistyped the table. It was not actually tabled. I went back and looked after I sent the agenda. It is not tabled. It is still, we actually did vote.
Okay.
So it's ready to go to the full board.
The deputy administrator.
Yeah, it was already passed. It was approved November 1st.
Okay, so we're going to just send that
Sorry
to the
about
full
that.
board.
Yep.
Okay, so we can skip to number 9, correct?
Yep, somebody wants it.
All right, number 9, discussion and vote to recommend to full board sending press release for animal control admin, non-vet part-time job opening available.
I'll make that motion to discuss.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Discussion.
So I have been in contact with a very, in my assessment, qualified possible administrator. I believe I sent out her resume to the committee. I have discussed with Bobby, and I hope I have no when to say when, but I have discussed this with Bobby, and I believe it is my understanding, I have asked him to put it on the agenda, that the appointment be made Thursday. I met with her prior to coming here. She's able to come to the meeting Thursday. I don't know, as far as press release, if you were talking about an expense. This is not a hired position, this is an appointed position. So if there's somebody that could possibly be appointed next Thursday, do we want to go to the expense of putting out a press release for no reason?
If you guys already have somebody in mind, then we'll find out Thursday. I mean, if you've already talked about it with Bobby and she's gonna come,
I would
then.
prefer to wait.
Yeah, Tuesday night, he literally said it's a go, he'll put it on the agenda.
Okay,
So-
so there's no action.
Okay.
You wrote it down?
And we just don't take action on
Just
it.
don't take action. All right, number 10, discussion and vote to recommend to full board animal control topper quote from Jones Trailer Company. Is there a motion? Yeah, I had that.
I will make the motion.
I will second it.
I want you to know, I've had a full day of animal control. Full day. So I spoke with Mr. John at Jones Trailers, and about the ramp, because Brad mentioned something, the warden mentioned something about having a ramp to get animals up into the vehicle. They can, he said that if we give him what we need, he can fabricate whatever it's going to take. It will not be attached to the tailgate, but it will be something that you could get like a ladder rack or some kind of, and attach it to the vehicle in some way. Then I talked to Brad, and Brad said that you can get those ramps aftermarket, purchase them aftermarket and get them done. I don't know anything mechanically, what is the best way to go. I mean, so that's, I mean, Brad also mentioned that it would probably be wise if we could do it all in one swoop,
Yeah.
doing it that way,
That would be my recommendation.
than trying to find something aftermarket that fit this that he's building, so.
Right.
What he told me to do is talk to you guys, talk to the committee, talk to the animal control office, see what's needed, email that to him, and he would get us a new deal sent out. So probably don't want to send this to the full board right now because it may change.
How soon would you be able to talk to Brad and see what he actually wants?
Well, I talked to him today, and he was fine either way, but he just said that it would probably be better, since we're kind of puzzle piecing things together, to have it assembled or, you know, made by the same person rather than trying to fit one piece with another piece. But I can get like specifications, you mean, is what would be required for the truck?
Right, I mean,
Yeah,
so.
I can do that tomorrow.
If you call that guy tomorrow, I'm sure that he should be able to figure something out before Thursday, correct?
Oh, you mean the full board? I don't know. I don't
How
know.
about we try that?
We can try it, and then
And
if
if
it's
you get
not,
all
then
that,
we can just pull it, yeah. But I'll call, I mean, I'll talk to Brad tomorrow, and I'll just ask him, like, spec-wise, is that the right terminology?
Yeah.
What he would need.
All right, so I will make a motion
To present this to the, can't present it as is, because it's gonna
No,
change.
Yeah. I will amend that we send it to the full board if we can get the updated,
Estimate.
estimate or whatever before Thursday,
To include,
to include the ramps.
And I had such a great conversation with John today that I'm pretty sure if I delivered the truck down to him, he's gonna put me up at his house. He was a very friendly man.
Was there a second on that amendment?
I'll second it. I thought, did you second it?
no, I said the terminology to include. I can't.
I did, whatever. I won't fight.
No, let's get on with
Can you
it.
read that back, please?
Motion to recommend to full board animal control topper quote from Jones Trailer Company to send the updated quote by Thursday to include ramps.
All in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
I,
All opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Okay, so recommend to send a full board animal control topper quote from Jones Trailer. Because that was an amend, now we got to do that one. Is there any further discussion? All right.
Are we voting on that?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I'm sorry.
You're gonna call the vote?
Oh, yeah.
Motion as amended, I'm sorry.
Okay, motion as amended, the, send a full board, the top quote from Jones Trailer. Man,
By Thursday to include.
by Thursday too. Yeah,
To include breaks,
right.
sorry.
So you need somebody to make a motion for that?
Nope.
No, we're-
No, this is the
I'll
vote.
have them brain fart, but,
All in favor?
all, yeah. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Discussion vote on other sources for animal control training. Is there a,
No. I mean,
So motion.
is there a motion?
oh, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
I like to get right to the discussion. So this has to do with the the Illinois Animal Control Association bill that we asked to hold last month. Till we could just kind of look and see. Lori thought maybe she had received some emails of other organizations that possibly had free trainings and different things like that. So Carol Cole also communicated with this organization, and she, I think they addressed a lobbying issue with her. I'm not sure that lobbying is potentially the right word. I think advocating would have been a better word. And they do not use these fees to do that. They're not a political group, so I don't think they're lobbying. I think they advocate for certain issues with the companion animals, companion dogs, to help people who require those things. Advocating, I think, would have been a better word to use. Yeah, service dogs. Than lobbying. But the membership dues are strictly used for training, not for the lobbying or advocating. And Carol communicated with this gentleman and got that information. Now, I spoke with him. When I looked into some of these different organizations, there's no membership fee, but then you go to the training part of it and you're paying $300, $400, $500 for trainings. And there's no centralized network that you can get resources from. So when I talked to Quentin, who is the president of this group, I asked for a training kind of schedule just so we could kind of see what, being early in the year, they don't have all their trainings in line. They do have a monthly board meeting that you can either attend in person or via Zoom. And that's open to committee and anybody on this committee, animal control workers, anyone. And that $50, you get that for free because you're a member. But you can do it in person or Zoom. So, I mean, I think with the new administrator coming down the pike, and he said most of those monthly board meetings and Zoom trainings are aimed at any discussion or changes to the Animal Control Act, helping new administrators, understand their position better. And then they also offer additional trainings if you're a member. Like they have a euthanizing training, which I guess you don't have to be a vet to euthanize an animal, you just have to be licensed to euthanize. They have this training coming up. It's $400 if you're a non-member, it's $200 if you're a member. So in my opinion, this is well worth the $50, and I think we should proceed with paying it, but that comes with the bills, I guess.
Right, yes.
So.
Okay, so there's no action to be taken.
Because I didn't find any organization that would be better suited than this one.
Right.
So that's her recommendation.
I mean, we can do it when we get to the bills if you want to.
Is there any other further discussion?
Sorry, I'm not talking to you.
It's okay. It's
Well,
my own
All
fault
right.
sitting this way.
So we will skip number 12 because we are still waiting on the title to be switched. Number 13, discussion vote to recommend the full board as proposal. Still working on it, so
If it's completed by Thursday?
yeah, it won't be. I have an email from them saying that they're putting stuff together, so they're still up in the air. And I will address that in old business.
Oh, and Brad gave me the bills for the animal control, so if you,
Okay, well, they were supposed to be in that packet. Okay, all right.
what's in that packet?
Bills.
From,
All right. Discussion and vote to approve animal control bills and send to finance committee. However, in our, what is our? Yep. It is our job to be a liaison for the finance committee. So we are going to approve EMA, animal control, and I believe anything with the dive stuff is also in there.
did I not, should I not have gotten Brad's bills?
I emailed Jessica to put them, so.
They never got to Jessica even?
Yeah.
Okay.
so
I
they were
just,
supposed to.
well, and that's not his fault, I just happened to bump into him in the parking lot out here.
No, it's fine.
And I
No.
said, I'll take it.
I just thought that they were all in that package.
Okay.
All right, discussion. All right, so we will split these up.
You guys can do those, and Cody and I can do these, and
Sure.
Yeah, would you like, would you like to,
I'm good. It's not that much, is it?
So this is the 50, oh,
Can you put them here and I'll put them in my minutes?
okay, you tell me when you're ready. Or maybe Annette and I can do the bills and you do the minutes.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You got me down there in writing you.
Yeah, I like it. My circle closed.
I didn't want to look, and
Okay, so this $50, this is that membership that we were talking about. Last month, this was presented to us, and you get, I don't know if you get random emails, but sometimes we get random emails. Lori got emails from different groups saying free trainings and no membership fees and whatever. But when you investigate a little further, which is why we held off on paying it, there's always fine print. And this is just, this $50 allows us to,
What you
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna initial that one to move forward and pay it.
do they all
Scott, is this just the credit card statement that matches those two Walmart
Do what?
things?
do they require all of
This isn't a
No, we
separate
just,
invoice.
we're splitting them to,
Correct.
in order
That
to make
statement
things move
is
a little
for-
faster.
This goes with
Have
those
two
bills.
initials
Yeah,
Per person.
that's a
Then
credit
this
card
is
Should be
statement.
a
the gas
memorandum in
bill.
there.
231 in gasoline. So.
There's no memo attached to that?
Bear with me, because I'm
Let's send it out.
reconciling these bills.
Just, what do you mean by memorandum?
just because it was overly complicated because one of the checks was already written out.
I'm gonna use my calculator, not on my phone calculating.
I got you. Here, that's just a credit card statement that
So
goes along with these two bills from Scott.
59.
Oh, okay, the back part.
Yeah. Here.
231, 36. So that one reconciles. Yep. Yeah.
What's that? Is that from there?
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
there's that.
yeah, that is the, whatever that one was. $50.
You want them right there?
And then here's this Verizon bill. There's that. And then this is veterinary services. Okay, so they must have neutered an animal. Dr. Morrow neutered an animal. 1110, $85. $85. Okay. See, I totally think if the administrator would be worth, it'd be worth, they euthanized 6 dogs at a cost of $181.
Right.
That training is $200 to get licensed.
Right, so therefore we're gonna save money. So this is a good thing.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll euthanize. I'll practice on some people.
No, that's on camera, right?
Just kidding. Okay. Let's see.
You have to say it's just your opinion.
Oh, I was just kidding. Okay. So these VAT bills get kind of weird because sometimes we get, Brad explained that to us last month. We get previous, the invoices, their invoices don't typically always line up with our billing cycle, so we have some things on there that have already been paid. So, 181. So these are for the euthanization of 6 animals. Okay. Okay. And then this is the local vet here in town. So because we do not have a licensed vet, we are going to move forward with still paying our administrator,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. This is Doc Spessard, he's our current administrator of the veterinary.
Is that the total? Is there more than this?
That should be.
That's the total.
That's the total. Thank you.
And then this with Ameren, this is one of the ones that I was talking about. Their statement runs different than what our bills are reconciled, so 246.14, 246. Oh, here. Do you need that to go with the bill? I mean, here's all of this stuff.
Yeah, we'll turn that all into,
Okay, I knew it needed to go somewhere, but not my responsibility.
Please tell me the title property.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
How did it drive?
Nicer than Machado.
301 East Main Street, sold to Shelby County.
I think we're done with items. I think we're just on to, yeah, updates.
How to approve
Yes.
bills.
After we approve the bills, I think we're just done with update, or down to updates. see a bill in there. I'll talk about that in a minute.
What do we have to do? At the meeting.
We can talk about it.
But I don't know that we'll have a lot of,
Maybe you want to just change everything.
It's not just me.
I don't know that we'll have a lot with updates. It's 14. So I looked at that too.
That's it.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Is it all on here? Or do you?
Yep. Whenever you're done. All in favor to pay the bills, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Number 12, sheriff's updates.
Well, we were able to hire another deputy this week. I had Isaiah Diver. He's a recent graduate of SIU Edwardsville. And he, like I said, started this week, and he reports to the academy Sunday, which will be about 4 months long. We'll be in the academy. He'll return to us for field training and then go to work eventually. We had 2 on our eligibility list. I extended an offer to 2, 1 declined it, and Isaiah accepted it, so I was able to hire 1. The other thing I was going to ask you is, so I have 2 vehicles that I've had surplus, and I want to put the ad out for the bid. And I believe probation also wants to jump on that bid, and my question for you was, do you want that truck on the bid?
Yes.
At the same time?
Yes.
And,
That was what I wanted to ask you tonight, if you were going to be here. I wasn't sure if you were going to be here or not, if you were going to pay it or half and half, or how.
It's a fairly small fee for the ad for the paper, so we can take care of it, but I thought we could roll them all into one ad.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what we talked about
Right.
also. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to, I think we approved everything, and it's just ready to get put in the paper, correct?
Yep.
And then we could put it on the website. So if you need any information, just let me know and I'll try to get it for you.
It probably won't be until, it'll at least be next week's paper, I'm sure.
Okay.
And other than that, we've had, as we talked about Tuesday night, issues with the time clock, but we're trying to work through them, but right now it's not figuring time correctly for us.
So, we got a hold of,
CIC?
yes.
Yes.
They got back with us, and I got Dane on the phone, and they were able to change.
Inputs, codes?
They were. And so when they fixed the 30-cent premium pay, it actually fixed the overtime problem too that wasn't calculating.
Okay.
So that should be,
Well, so we've had problems the last 2 payrolls. I know we'll have problems on the next one because that time clock was
Right.
down from Saturday
Right.
through Tuesday.
Right.
And that also crossed a pay period, so
and,
Sunday and Monday and Tuesday morning didn't get done correctly.
Right.
Because the time clock wasn't working, so.
and also it wasn't retroactive. So just moving forward, it'll be fixed.
Okay.
We're still have to manually change,
Do corrections in them.
do corrections, and then the holiday pay will have to still be manual. And Dane, she didn't want anything to be like a default out of the 4 choices.
Okay.
Change.
Okay.
There's still room for
Yeah,
improvement.
there's still growing pains.
Still room for improvement. And
We
And
appreciate you.
also,
I'm trying.
from the last board meeting, does anybody know what line item that the app was supposed to be taken out of? Did anybody say? That, because the cost is, $799, but I wasn't here, so.
I assume it's the same line item the clock came out of, is it 029 or something?
That'd be
I'm
Jennifer.
just
But
guessing.
nobody heard or remember anybody saying that? No, okay. I'll still look into that, okay.
All right, number 12, EMA department update. Scott caffeinated.
Yeah. So we did have 2 incidences in December. First one I was made aware of on the 19th. As you might have heard on the news, there's been some cyber attacks throughout the country. And we were also included on that in Shelby County. The water department in Herrick was hacked and they locked the water plant out of its own controls. Since then, that issue has been resolved, and all the authorities have been alerted, of course. I also was made aware that also happened in Assumption as well, but that was a little bit worse. There was some flooding that happened as a result of that. On the 26th, on the Finley Assumption Blacktop, about 2100 north, 1600 east, there was a big semi-truck garbage spill. Dumped about a half a load of a 65-foot trailer full of garbage out onto a field. I stayed with that to learn how it's been handled in the past, and I thought they did a great job. They had Curtis Towing from Tower Hill come in. They took over the cleanup of that, brought a mini excavator, and they got skid dumpsters from Joe Coleman, and they cleaned up the majority of that. I mean, I would say 98, 99% of that got cleaned up. There's still a little bit of debris left in there. So I'm trying to work out a way to maybe find, I'm gonna ask Heather Wade from Corrections if anybody would be, from probation would be able to go out there and maybe pick up the rest of that, but we'll see how it is. If not, then I'll get a hold of the insurance company and go forward with that. Other than that, no other incidences. On January 12th, well, yesterday I got invited by the Wawiko police chief to join Decatur police in a active shooter drill up at Blue Mound High School, or the old school at Blue Mound. But that's on January 12th, so I'll be able to attend. I think it's too short of a notice to get a whole lot of other people involved. But also, Sonny, if you know anybody from Windsor that would be interested and or available, because right now it's just me. But if we can get anybody else to go, that'd be great. They're specifically looking for firefighters or anybody that would be involved with rescue.
When and where?
So that would be January 12th, so next Friday, and that would be from noon to 4 p.m. And again, I'm sorry it's short notice, but I just learned about it yesterday.
Where's that?
Blue Mound.
Blue Mound.
And if you find anybody, just get in contact with me. On the 22nd, I'll be attending the Pipeline Emergency Response Training in Effingham. The 24th, I'll be attending a public hazard mitigation meeting in Montgomery County. They're updating their plan, invited me and other nearby EMA coordinators to ask questions and be a part of the discussion since we're one of their neighbors. So, on the 25th, I'll be attending the IEMA Region 9 meeting. They're going to have representatives there from IPW Man, which I kind of briefed you guys about and recommended that the county join. So I'll be there, and I've already been in contact with Cody. I'm going to try and record as much of that as I can. It shouldn't be an issue to do that. Other than that, I'm working on my next FEMA training, which is IS 235. I'm working on getting the Shelby County access to the IPAWS system, which is the State's Integrated Public Alert and Warning System. So essentially, wireless emergency alerts that you get on your phone, like if there's anhydrous ammonia spill or something like that. Right now, we don't have access to that system. So, CF Industries in Cowden updated their safety data sheet, and then I'm currently working on updating some emergency shelter contracts for American Red Cross. But that's it.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have contact information for all fire protection districts in Shelby County?
Yes, it may need a little bit of updating. It was updated in 22, so luckily, I think Troy did that, but it does need updated now,
Okay,
but I do have, yes.
okay. I didn't know if you did or not, because that would probably, if you had the contact information, you know, about that, active shooter, you
Right.
know, it would be nice to have, be able to shoot it out to all EMS and fire, so.
Absolutely.
Anybody have any more questions for Scott?
Okay.
All right, thank you. We will go number 14, dive team updates. Sunny,
I have nothing.
Annette? Number 16, old business. Well, go old business.
Skipped animal control updates.
Oh, animal control updates, I'm sorry. Number 15, Lori? Julie?
No, I mean, the updates was with the training and potentially the administrator on Thursday. Fingers crossed.
That's it? Anything else?
I am working with the Department of Agriculture, which oversees the animal control programs for the state, to see what documents are required to make sure we have everything in order for the, should somebody walk in, we have everything laid out so that yes, so that it's easy for this administrator at whatever point is able to be prepared and trained by the state or resources available, that it's not extra time for an employee to try to train them.
Okay. All right, so we will go to number 16, old business. So I met, well, me and the sheriff met with Hudson Associates on the windows. They said they'd get back the first week of January, and here we are. And I emailed them today about an update, and they're like, they gave me 2 or 3 more weeks. So,
Well, he stated that day to me that he's 3 months behind, so.
yeah, he said we should have something at the beginning of the month about, I think it was it the manpower? There was something that he said it was gonna cost $1 million. I think it was the,
I thought he was also gonna get back about the, like, removing the stucco too, so
Right.
looking at that, and then doing the windows and the faces.
and there was also issues with the inside of the windows in the tax assessor's office. There's some damage that they said was not because of the windows, it was because of something else. So we are waiting on us to get that figured out. Number 17, new business. Anybody?
Other than the time change.
Okay, time change. So there is some conflicts on Thursdays. What day? Because you have something on Thursdays, right?
Yeah, is it possible to either move the day or put the time earlier? Would the time earlier be better
That's fine with me.
for you guys? Would that affect you guys at all? Would it be better for you?
How much? How much?
I don't like staying here late, so yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
How
if we
much?
keep it on Thursday and move it up to 5?
how early can you guys go?
Thursday, if we keep it on Thursday, I can be here anytime.
I'm okay with 5 on Thursday. Are you okay with 5 on Thursday?
I can really try.
Well, do we have to approve that?
Well, we have to, I think that has to be done as a formal agenda item, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
it has to be
Yeah.
through the clerk's office and then reposted and everything
Yeah.
else.
We have to change that calendar, so yeah, we'll have to make that an agenda item.
Yeah, so we can do that. Well, it'll be 6 o'clock next month,
No, oh, yeah, yeah.
and then we'll vote on it, and then we'll move it up to 5. Is there any more new business?
Is that gonna be enough time?
Is 4:30 out of the question?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. Can't blame you for trying.
I do have a question for new business. Have you guys figured out anything with the communications?
So I actually heard from Bryce today, and the dad, the owner of the business, is waiting to hear back from a couple other districts to get some more information for his study before he can finish the quote.
Okay.
So-
Can you say that? I'll love it. So everybody can hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have to be able to hear.
So,
We're looking to update the EMS in Fire Protection District radios.
System.
Yeah, the whole system, and that involves repeaters and different stuff. So we are
towers.
in towers. So we're looking at multiple bids to find out which one would be cheaper and the better option to go with.
We already looked at one bid, and we're trying to work on a second bid from Craig's. I think it's Craig's Antenna from Pana. So they're working on it. They're still working on it.
The first bid was over $600,000. So we are trying to not spend $600,000. This has been an issue, especially down like the Cowden, Herrick area. There's no cell phones, there's no radio communications. We are behind the ball as a county on all of that. We are looking, I think right now we have five repeaters, and we have to add 7 more to get the county coverage. So. Any other new business? Anybody else? All right, so we will move on to number 18, public body comment. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mark Shanks. Just had a couple questions regarding dive team stuff. On November 6th, the Shelbyville City Council passed unanimously an intergovernmental agreement. The mayor signed it and presented it to Bobby and Jessica on November 7th by email. There's been a couple of legislative meetings since then. This is the second Public Safety Committee meeting since then. There was a board meeting. I believe at that board meeting, Bobby said he hadn't gotten any such thing, and then it was pointed out that he did receive that, and he did have it. So I was wondering why there hasn't been any discussion of it. Under the circumstances that we're in a public safety crisis here, it seems like to me that would be an urgent thing to look at.
I haven't received anything, so.
Well, I presented a copy of it again to Jeremy Tuesday night at the legislative meeting. Jeremy said he would make sure it got distributed to your committee.
Yeah, that has not been sent out to me. I don't know about anybody else, so.
I guess maybe you could ask the questions why. Please do. I think it's urgent that it be addressed. And just a couple of questions regarding progress with the county dive team. How many applications do we have for positions on the dive team at this point?
I have no idea. They're addressed to the county chairman, so you would need to ask him.
Sonny, you don't know the answer to that? Or?
The few that I've reached out to that would be interested in joining were attacked and harassed by former dive members, so we don't have any to my knowledge. I'm just answering the question.
So you're saying in an open meeting here that they were attacked and harassed by former
Not
dive team
physically,
members?
but verbally, yes.
Okay. Certainly, I'm not aware of that. Have you hired a commander for the dive team?
We don't hire a commander. The board chairman is responsible to appoint that person.
I thought the Public Safety Committee was a recommending body for that
Well,
sort of thing.
like I said, the people that we've reached out to have been harassed and want nothing to do with it.
So no, they haven't got one.
If the former members hadn't quit, we'd still have one, Mark.
Or the reason.
Don't go there, dude.
And they would have stayed.
Do you know what?
I'm there.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have a 3-minute time.
We know.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, we have a 3-minute time. I forgot
Okay.
to say it,
You know,
but you can
okay.
continue, go.
Do you know what certification organization you're going to be using for diver training? And you know, be PADI or NAUI or SSI or?
Well, that's going to be up to the dive commander. It's in the resolution what training
Well,
standards they're to be trained to.
My concern, I guess, is that we've had, I don't know, it's a couple months here, the applications have been out and we have 0 members.
That's my concern too.
I think I said early on that it would be at least a 3-year process to stand up a dive team. And you've got a proposal from the city that could stand up a dive team in very short order, probably within a week, if the county would choose to cooperate with the city on that.
And many of my constituents have expressed deep concern with that proposition.
Would you mind sharing what reasoning or?
There's a list of reasons, and I think I would exceed your 3-minute timeline by explaining them all to you, but there's a lot of
Go
reasons.
ahead.
Well, I would just say I've had contacts from, I would guess, over 100 people that are very much in favor of the idea. And it's been stated that the dive team wouldn't use tax dollars from the city's funds for the city dive team. It's going to be funded by private donations and benefactors. So I guess I can't understand what would be the...
I do have a question. When you say that, who is going to pay the insurance on all the equipment?
Still to be determined, but my understanding is that we would probably be taking that out of fundraising money. So.
Okay, so is that in the governmental agreement? Is there any way you could get the insurance, like who would cover, how it would be covered?
Well, I think the cities said that they would undertake the insurance, whether they can use that funds from internal funds or from fundraising, I guess. I don't know that that's been determined, but it certainly isn't asking anything from the county.
Okay, so it's going to come out of the city's insurance, but you said that's not going to be used by taxpayer dollars.
Well, if it would come out of the city insurance, that would be refunded by benefactors and fundraising.
Okay, I'm following you. Is there any way that, you're on Shelbyville's board, correct?
Yes, I'm on city council.
Can you send me that information?
Which information?
Like the insurance, who's going to cover it, how it's going to be covered?
Well, I don't know that that's been determined, other than it's been established that there would be fundraising would cover the cost of the dive team. So.
Okay.
And the intergovernmental agreement says that the city would take care of insurance as a way to assure you that there wasn't any requirement from the county for insurance, but it doesn't go into detail that actually where that money would come from. But it's my
Right,
understanding.
but I'm just saying to cover the equipment though, if we're going to sign it over or do whatever, we need to make sure that we have insurance coverage and everything, so.
I can't speak for the other council members, but it's my understanding from my conversation with them that they're willing to cover the whole thing 100%.
Okay.
I guess I would just ask that there be an urgency put on this. You know what this is, I was on the dive team for 20 years. This is the longest period of quiet that we've had. It won't last very much longer. We'll have spring rains, we'll have summer tourism. There will be a major dive event soon. We've been very lucky and missed it so far, but I'm assure you that will happen.
Would you be willing to get a application from the city clerk and join the county dive team?
From the city clerk?
Or the county clerk, I'm sorry, Jessica?
Actually, no.
Well, in Mark's defense, I mean, he has stated in the meeting that he feels, I mean, no offense, Mark, that he's getting to the age where he doesn't feel it's safe for him to dive with the equipment and stuff like that, so.
You can
My-
still be
That
on the
isn't what he
dive
said.
team.
No, with the county,
Okay, all right.
I can speak for myself on that. My plan is to be part of a dive team auxiliary,
yeah.
or fundraising arm, organization to help fund the city dive team is my intention, if the city is able to get this agreement and go forward with the city dive team, so.
Okay.
I would not be an active diver at that point. So.
Okay. Just a reminder, we do have 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that. That's why I let Mark speak for however long.
Do you want to use my phone?
Yeah. I'm using the phone for timekeeping, not text messaging or phone calls, just so everybody is aware. All right, public body comment? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Jake Cole. I believe until someone files a complaint against someone on the dive team that they think is guilty of something and proves it in court, that everyone on the dive team as of today is innocent of any wrongdoing. If you can't prove it, why do you keep accusing?
Public body comment? Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
I've got a question. Who was it that recommended to Bobby Orman to appoint the last admin for animal control? Did anybody on your board recommend, I believe it was Sarah Barnes' name that was on that agenda. Who was it that recommended her to Bobby from this board?
I have no idea.
There's other people. Is anyone else on the board going to speak to that? And then my next question is, as far as the intergovernmental agreement, I've been out in Windsor to quite a few houses. They really want the county to work with the city. So I'm not sure what constituency he's talking about, because everybody I've talked to, which has been a considerable amount of people, I would say I probably have been in about 90 homes in the last month. And they are very much interested in working with the city to get a dive team back up and running. So I'm constituency that's showing up at the meetings. And I'm very interested in the city working with the county and the county working with the city. This intergovernmental agreement was sent out on November 7th. I asked the question in the last board meeting, or someone asked the question in the last board meeting about the intergovernmental agreement. And Mr. Orman stated he did not have it, which was not correct. He did. Is there a reason why you have not spoke with Mr. Orman to obtain this intergovernmental agreement? If you do not want to work with the city, can you please say, we have no interest? So that way, if the city needs to make other arrangements, they can. And to me, that's pretty easy to do. If you have no interest in working with the city, then say so. Instead of all this back and forth of, well, I didn't get it from this person, I don't have it from that person. Just tell the truth. Do you have any intention to work with the city of Shelbyville? Can you answer that, Mr. Brands, as the chair of this committee?
I can't speak for everybody else.
Can you give me your intention?
No.
Okay. I appreciate
Was
that.
that no, was it no interest, or no, as you can't give her your?
Correct.
I have no interest.
In working with the city?
Yes.
Can you tell us why?
Because my constituents said no.
How many of those constituents been here that have supported your decision? It's easy to say my constituents when you don't have anyone here saying, yes, Cody, we're with you. Have any of your constituents showed up in support of your decisions? Because I've been to every meeting since January, and I've not seen any of your constituents saying, we're with you. So, but I have seen a lot of people in these meetings
Your 3 minutes
that are in
is up.
support of the city, working with the city.
Public body comment?
Why are you so anti this dive team? I don't get it. We have a lake.
I'm not anti-dive team.
Originally from up north. It's embarrassing.
Who are
to
you
look
by
at.
chance?
Chrissy Lasky.
Okay.
I might be working with you someday, so you need to listen, pay attention to what these people are saying. And I was at the meeting where they had showed the intergovernmental thing to send to you guys. So I don't know how any of you couldn't have gotten it. Why you're just passing it off. And I don't know why you're so anti-dive team.
We're
You
not
need it
anti-dive
here.
team.
It's not costing you anything. I don't understand. You're watching the time, just forget it.
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm done. It's like talking to that wall.
Cody, just a point of order, I did just forward the email to all 5 of the board members that were here tonight within the government.
Okay. Public body comment? Public body comment? Yes, sir.
So, I've got 2 comments. I'll try to make it brief due to the time limit. The first one, the minutes. Look like
I'm sorry, who are you? Why don't you read?
Oh, okay. Alex Shays.
Yes, sir.
So, first comment, the minutes. I think it's on tonight's agenda to approve the current day's minutes. And if you look into the statute, I think you'll find that you can't actually do that. Is there anybody absent from this meeting right now?
She just worked.
Annette just left.
Well, Annette just left.
Yeah.
Alex, I agree with
Teresa's not
you,
here.
and I meant to bring that up in new business and I completely forgot, so
Okay.
I appreciate you
Well,
saying that again.
the statute basically says that all the members of the committee, basically whether they were here or not, get to review the minutes and at the next regular scheduled meeting, get to vote to approve or amend them. So if you ever have a meeting where somebody's absent, you can't approve the minutes tonight and then them not have the ability to comment on them, make additions, improvements, stuff like that. The other thing is with that is you can't approve the minutes and then add adjournment after that. And the state statute says that you have to put the adjournment time and that you adjourned and with the adjournment time. So it's hard to approve the minutes and then add the adjournment and then not be able to go back and amend the minutes with those adjournment time. And once you do approve them, it is public record. You're not supposed to alter them. So the second comment I have is this is not satire. This is a serious question for you guys, maybe something to just ponder. But as we are getting into the busy season, who do we call for a lake emergency? Who do we call?
Absolutely.
I honestly want a phone number or a person that's supposed to respond.
Would they call 911? No, I mean,
I don't
I'm
know.
genuinely asking,
But that
would
would
you
just
call
be the
911 with an emergency?
I feel like if the public safety meeting or public safety committee does not know the answer to that question, then
No,
they
I'm
should seek the answer.
saying I think 911 would be who you would call for any emergency. Like, I don't know that even if you had a dive emergency per se,
But then who
you
are
would
they gonna
dial
call?
the dive team.
Who are they gonna call and?
That would be an
send out?
emergency services question.
I feel like it's relevant for the public safety committee to just weigh that information, knowing that at some point somebody will need an emergency.
Sure.
And it will be a constituent of this county, whether it be Findlay or Shelbyville or Herrick or somebody will need help. And it's just, who do they call?
Hopefully
That's
not
just all
someone they know.
I would ask that we ponder. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm not trying to, I don't know what the word Sonny used on new members joining or whatever. I'm not trying to harass anybody. I just genuinely would like to know, so.
No, that's a good question.
Alex, can I get the statute that you're referencing by chance, or do you know it off the top of your head?
Well,
Tell them to look it up like they tell us to do.
no, it's actually part of the Roberts rules, and then it says in the state statute for the Open Meetings Act that.
Oh, it's an Open
Yeah,
Meetings
call
Act.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay.
We discussed this in the legislative meeting Tuesday night. And I mean, I think we kind of agreed then that that's the improper way to do it.
I wonder.
So we would have our meeting and then approve minutes from the previous meeting, and these minutes would be approved at next month's meeting.
So then-
So that
Right.
it,
Well,
yeah, it doesn't rush you. So that the whole entire meeting is encompassed within
and
the
the
minutes.
issue becomes then we can't send those meetings to the full board
That's your problem.
unless you send them as draft.
I
They're
mean,
not foilable.
I mean, it's been done that way forever and it's never been an issue, so
I'll look.
we gotta figure out.
I'll look at the OMA.
Yeah.
But when we had the legislative meeting Tuesday night, they approved the minutes from, what month are we in, January? December's meeting that night.
Okay.
And so there's time to get them to, the minutes will just be a month behind.
But the actions can still go forward next week on the agenda.
Should,
Mhm.
the action should be it too.
Yeah,
Because
Or otherwise we're gonna be running 2 months off.
yeah, we'd never get anything finished because if somebody's not here.
Public body comment? Public body comment?
Am I out of time good here?
Yeah, you actually probably had like 10 minutes. No.
I had 10.
But if you have any questions, please email me or email somebody up here.
About that email.
Public body comment?
So Sonny, who on the dive team broke the law?
Public body comment?
Come on. No one did.
We will not do 22. Number 23, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Mark, I did get the email, so I'll look at it. And I wasn't trying to intentionally call you over. I just knew you said you didn't want to, you weren't going to dive anymore because the equipment was heavy. What's happening?
there's one there.
Is that a net? That binder stays here, but the calendar might be a net. Should I check?
Okay.
This.
I feel like this is a net.
I'm just going to.
It talks about a perm.
Usually, yes.
What's this?
No idea. That was.
So I had it in my, okay. Because I just didn't want
You need help?
That maybe that's
my name is where I there's something, you abstain there, and then there's a good we put liner on it.
brighter and more efficient.
I think so, we put live